Hello, everyone. So this is Travis Souter. You know me as Holden on the Star Trek Tempest crew. This is another Kobayashi Maru scenario. We are rounding out the crew here, if these go in order that I recorded them, and I have no idea if they will. But at the moment, we are running with Tara, who is wonderful and plays multiple characters because she's the best one of us at voices.
Oh, bother.
And and today, of the myriad of characters with which she plays, she is going to go ahead and, I guess, do the fan favorite, Lieutenant Eel. So why don't you say hello?
Yeah, as me or as Eel, because
Both. Why not?
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to play this out, and I didn't have anything better to do, so it's fine.
Alrighty. So for those who are just tuning in, if you don't feel like going back and listening to the intro discussion that me and Ryan put together, or if you haven't heard any of the previous ones, this is a little different from our normal missions. Rather than the whole crew and using Star Trek Adventures, we're using what's called Fate, and I'm using a simplified version of the simplified Fate Accelerated to make it really streamlined. It's just to sort of get my feet wet GMing, but also just as a fun way for one of our crew members to get to go through the Kobayashi Maru, which is the famous no-win scenario at Starfleet Academy. Just to see how our characters would have approached it back when they were still cadets.
Which I feel like this is pointless, so
Well, we'll see how you do. So Ready. So we're just gonna dive right into creating Eel's character. We're gonna go through the character sheet for, again, Fate Accelerated. It's very simple. There's approaches, which is just how you approach task, and then there are aspects, which are sort of like parts of your personality that you can invoke to get some extra dice if you need to.
Cool.
And so we have his roll up. We're going to start with the aspects because I think it's the best place to start.
Okay.
What is Eel's high concept aspect? So what's sort of
So Eel's like major value is good in the clutch.
all right.
So he's like, he always wants to like come through at the end, like, well, you didn't have any faith in me, but look what I did for you there. So that's sort of his thing.
All right. So he likes to,
or that could be the trouble aspect, I guess.
I mean, I sort of assumed his trouble aspect would be sarcasm, but
well, I mean, there is also that.
But no, so the high concept is generally sort of what drives this character? What's the main motivation of the character? Like, what's sort of their purpose?
I mean,
and like that's not to say what you were saying isn't a good one. I mean, it could be something like likes to surprise, or I don't know. I'm trying to brainstorm.
something like that. Like likes to surprise people with
surprises
how useful he could be, or
surprises you with competency.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. That's perfect.
If you think that'll work, actually, yeah, let's go ahead and do. How about surprisingly competent?
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Surprisingly. I'm going to spell this terribly, so that's fine. And so now we are up to his trouble aspect. So what's an aspect of Eel's personality that is fun and can be helpful, but also can sometimes be used against him?
I mean, I would say maybe how he occasionally just lazy, like lackadaisical about everything, which like is helpful because he's not high stress, but also is not helpful in most ways.
All right. So I'm going to put this to you because this is something that I have actually been told about myself at work, is that moves at your own pace, which I feel like is a really good backhanded compliment, but also works. So
100%. Also describes my middle child. To a T. Yeah, moves at his own pace is totally Yeah.
Well, the description for me specifically was because I moved to Chicago from Florida, and so when I got here, like the entire group of people that I work with are all pretty locked into the Midwest, and so there's that sort of Midwest mentality, right? That there's this like the sort of like hard nose to the grindstone, always working super hard type of thing.
100%. Florida does not have that thing.
Yeah, so that was the way that I got it. It was very much like we all need to just like power through everything, and you just kind of like when you jump on it, you get it done, and then you move on to the next thing. And I was like, I mean, I get all my work done, so like it works. But
yeah, I definitely, when we first moved here, I also noticed that difference between Florida and Chicago. Just like,
it's like, why are you rushing over everything?
Yeah, like why are you so fast here?
this is not urgent. You're freaking out about this thing that doesn't need to be done for like 3 days. Like, what's the
100%.
So, all right. So we're gonna do one more aspect. So what's a piece of
Okay.
Eel's personality? Just this can be anything. Tends to lean positive though. You want to kind of like you're trying to build up your character.
I mean, he's got a food focus. He really likes to feed people or like wants to bring people together with food. So there's this little, I don't know, a need to gather people or something, or like a wanting to impress people with his cooking.
All right. What about people pleaser?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
sure? Okay.
Well,
If you don't
it's
feel it
only
fits, we
with
can.
food because he's not people pleasing with other stuff. He doesn't really care.
That's a good point.
He's like, I don't need to impress you with anything else, but with food, yeah, tell me how you like the pot roast.
Teal is the one that loves the pot roast.
Teal enjoys the pot.
Yeah,
But
true.
Eel made
Well,
the
let's do
pot roast.
something. So let's come up with something else because I think the food thing is just gonna be tough for you to figure out how to use in the scene at some point. So
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I like the idea of wanting to sort of be social and bring people together in that way.
Yeah. Like an instinct to gather people or something.
All right. Yeah, we can do instinct together. That'll be perfect.
Okay. Okay.
I typed instinct together.
Instinct.
Okay. All right. So that is all of Eel's aspects.
Okay.
We are on up to approaches. Now for approaches, the little number on the side is going to basically be sort of bonus points that you get. So if you roll a careful die and he has a
Oh.
1 in the careful, it does the normal roll, which is always going to be 4 dice. But then it'll add 1 to the total, whatever it happens to be.
Okay.
So in this case, we have these what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aspects.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
6 approaches isn't one of them.
Oh, approaches is not one of them.
And so for this, what you're going to get is you're going to get a single 2, 3 1s, and then the rest will be zeros.
Ooh, okay.
So think about like of careful, clever, flashy, forceful, quick, and sneaky. What does Eel most fit into? Like what sort of personality does he follow the most?
I'm gonna say clever
All right.
because he's surprisingly confident or competent. So
Yeah.
he's clever. You just wouldn't necessarily know it at first.
All right.
So I'm gonna say clever.
All right. So he's clever. And so now you have 3 1s and 2 zeros to place.
I'm gonna say careful and sneaky are ones. I don't know. He's neither quick nor flashy. Those would definitely be the zeros. So I
Right.
guess
Forceful would be 1.
would have to be a 1. Okay.
Yeah, backing into it is a thing that kind of ended up happening.
Okay.
All right. So congratulations. Eel has now been created. You have
Woo!
a full character.
Yay. We did it.
Huzzah! Looks like we made it. So yeah, so I think at this point we are sort of good to go. You want to take a moment and like get into character as you need to do.
You know me well. All right.
Alrighty. Yeah, I guess we'll just dive right into it.
I should
So,
have
yeah,
brought water.
You want to go grab a thing of water?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
I'll make it.
Alrighty, so Eel, Cadet Eel. Remember, this is also Eel X number of years younger before he ended up on the Tempest.
Oh,
So-
right. I wonder how much sarcasm I would have brought over first, you know?
Before he got jaded.
Yeah, right. Like I might be more of an eager beaver, if that's a phrase that we can use in Starfleet. I'm not really sure.
Oh. don't let Ensign Beaver hear you. So
And I know. Yeah, well, you know, he's too sensitive in a way.
well, I wanted to make a beaver pun, but I couldn't quite get there.
Yeah,
So.
it's all right. He doesn't give a damn. That's what I should have said.
There we go. Yep. All right. Yeah. So Cadet Eel, how confident is Eel? Does he think he's going to nail this test?
Eel, well, he doesn't care. Because
Well, the
you know,
apathy has started young,
Yeah,
apparently.
apathy. Right. Well, if you tell someone it's a no-win scenario, right? I'm going to
Yeah.
show up and be like, yeah, all right. Well, if the Titanic's going down either way, I might as well just be there for the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had this discussion I've had this discussion with other people in the same thing of like, how do they keep running it, right? Because once you go
Yeah.
in knowing that there's no way to win,
Right.
why do you bother? Like
Well,
it
yeah.
doesn't seem like to get that lesson.
Right.
I think we've been trying to tell people, or I've been trying to tell people, is like approach it as if this is just, you didn't know that this is the Kobayashi Maru, right? Like
Oh,
you,
all right.
because like you're in Starfleet Academy, you're probably going to be doing ship simulations or simulation stuff pretty regularly. I lean
Oh,
on the
all right, all right.
I don't think I've mentioned this in the previous ones, but I lean on that one episode of TNG where Wesley, where they like stage an accident
Ooh,
and like he doesn't realize that it's a test until after he like ends up
yeah,
or leaves the guy behind.
yeah.
It was like a face your
Oof.
fears thing. And so I kind of picture that that's got to be how they keep it fresh, is they change the
Yeah,
scenario
something.
up. They kind of, you don't really know
Right.
it. And like maybe you realize it at point during it, but you go in thinking it's just a regular thing.
Yeah.
And so
All right.
try
Well,
to keep
in
that in
that
mind.
case, if I didn't know, which I might know because I've got
Because you're
I've got
surprisingly competent.
connections everywhere. Yeah, I'm very clever. If I didn't know, I think I'd go in feeling like pretty confident. I don't know, 8 out of 10.
All right.
Right.
Alrighty, so Eel walks confidently into the simulation center. He walks up to the
Hello.
front of it. It's like a nice little bridge.
Yeah.
A bunch of no-named instructors and stuff working all the consoles for him.
Hello.
So he sits down in the captain's chair. The lights kind of dim for a second, and then
Ooh,
the view.
nice chair. Like this. Yeah. You know what? We should just have chairs like this everywhere.
Yep, it's a shame you get assigned to the transporter room where you
It's-
stand all day.
It's too bad. I'm putting in a stool though.
Alrighty, so the view screen pops up,
All right.
and so your ship has now received a distress signal from a nearby transport vessel, the Kobayashi Maru. The message states that the ship was transporting a group of settlers to the third moon of Elbrus 4 when it came under attack from the Klingons. Multiple ships decloaked, scanned the transport, and then opened fire.
Oh no.
If someone doesn't come immediately, they're afraid they'll be destroyed. What do you do?
Well, how strong is this ship?
I mean, you're a small sort of ship, but you're the
Yeah,
only
so-
one in range. So of course
But
you're the
I'm
only one that can
worried
do.
that if we show up, we're just gonna get shot to bits too. You know what I mean?
True.
But
That is
I guess
that is a legitimate concern. Right now,
mean-
there's a Kobayashi Maru. There's a transport vessel full of settlers that are calling for help.
that's rough. That, especially because I feel like this would be over too quickly if I just said nope. You know what I mean? So I guess I gotta go there.
If that's what you want to do, like you can do that. I have more scenarios, and that'll just be the end of this one. So,
No, it's all right. All right. Well, let's bring our ship there and see what's going on, shall we?
all right. You just want to turn and warp directly to it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you order your
Well-
helmsman.
Let's warp like right outside of what's going on because I want to take it all in first. You know what I mean? So I'm not like in the fray, but like I can see.
Right. You want to get like viewer range or whatever.
Yeah. That.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what you order. The helm turns you, and you jump to warp for just a minute or so. It's not super far away from where you are.
Right.
You come out of warp, and then not super close to you, but in the distance a little bit, like well within scanning range. But you can bring it up on the viewer. You see a bunch of wreckage.
Oh no. Did they blow up?
Um,
Well, I guess we should scan it and see what that is, eh?
all right. So if you want to run a scan,
Yeah.
are you trying to scan for something specific, or are you just trying to scan generally?
I just want to know what all that stuff is. Like, is it good guys or bad guys or what is it?
Okay. So if you're doing just a general scan, I think you're going to be rolling the careful die. It's going to be a
Alright.
difficulty 1. So just go ahead
Okay.
and click the little die next to it.
And go. Whoa.
And negative 1.
Where'd that come up?
It should be at the bottom. Sometimes it doesn't reload all the way.
Oh, I clicked on Teal by accident and she's not here. Hold on.
So you rolled a negative 1 out of that.
A negative 1?
Yep.
That's the
So-
opposite thing I want.
Agreed. So
What?
you are able to you scan the wreckage, but you can't really get a focus. You're a little too far away at this point. If you want to
Oh, no.
move in closer, but you can tell there is about the amount of wreckage as a full ship, but you can't tell if
no.
it's the Maru. You can't tell if it's someone else. You can't tell beyond that.
Are there
There's
other ships still there?
You don't have any other ships on. There doesn't seem to be anybody else still there. The distress signal is
Um,
still being sent from, like, it's just sort of a beacon at this point. Like it's
Yeah.
just kind of like beaconing, but like that's about all you can get at this point.
But the ship's all blown up, eh? Is the Maru still there?
That's all you see is the wreckage at the moment.
Oh no. All right. Can I try to hail someone?
Sure.
Like put
So
out
you,
a message just to see if anyone's there.
yep. So you put out a hail.
Like, hello, hello, is anyone there? You
Yep.
look all blown to pieces, but if I can help you, I'm here.
So you don't get an actual hail response. However, the distress beacon changes.
Oh.
Instead, it switches to a like rather than just a generic distress beacon going off.
Mm.
Instead, it's sort of a beacon that's basically saying like search for, instead of like a mayday from the as a ship's going down. Instead, it's like putting up a
Yeah.
flare because there are people in life rafts. So it's like saying
Oh.
like come pick up survivors as opposed to like the ship is in
Oh.
distress. So it switches once you send out the hail.
Oh, all right. Well, can we move closer and do like a really specific scan to find people in lifeboats?
Okay, you can do that.
It's kind of freaking me out, all these ties to the Titanic after I done said that. I'm just saying.
Fair. All right, so you're looking for something specific, so it's going to be a clever roll.
Oh, good. I am clever.
This is true. And it's going to be a difficulty 2.
All right. Ready
you're trying
to
to-
go. Oh,
And you
that's
got a
just
1.
one.
So do any of your aspects work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprisingly competent. So there's
All right.
could be really
So
much better roll than that.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and say that. This will be a nice use of your aspect. So you're surprisingly competent. So in the future, whatever you want to use, you'll just basically try to like pitch why it is. But in this case, you're just surprisingly competent. So
Yeah.
you have the choice of either re-rolling or adding 2. Obviously, if you add 2, you meet
Can
this
we pass
challenge.
that?
Yeah,
Right,
so there's
let's
no
do
reason.
that.
So
Yeah.
So you do scan. You're looking specifically for life signs.
Yeah.
You were able to pick up a handful of escape pods that are sort of like tucked within the wreckage,
Oh.
and you do pick up life signs from within those things. Like generic life signs, you can't really get a read specifically on them. They seem pretty weak, but there are just some mild life signs inside of some escape pods floating around in the wreckage.
All right. Can I beam those aboard?
You can. Do you want to
Yeah.
try and do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so you beam those aboard. Let's do let's see. Are you just trying to get them on board quickly? Or, I mean, that sort
Yeah.
of seems like the best. So yeah, so you're going to go ahead and do
Probably,
a difficulty, it's going to be a 2 because they're sort of floating in between wreckage. So getting a lock on them is going to be a little tough.
Oh no.
So it's going to be a difficulty 2 with your quick value.
What if someone's watching us and I could do it sneaky like? It's a mad dash.
So I will say if you want to, instead of trying to beam all of the pods on, if you want to be
Yes.
sneaky because you just want to get a sense of the situation and beam
Yeah.
just 1 pod, I will let you try
Ah.
that maneuver.
Sneaky's better. One's better than 0.
All right, so difficulty
Alright.
2 with your sneaky.
We're sneaky. Oh, we got a 0
0.
anyway.
Alright.
A bagel.
So what happens is you try to beam the thing. You're trying to like lock onto the life signs inside
Yeah.
of the life pod,
Yeah.
and you seem like you have a lock, but then when you hit energize, nothing comes. It's like the
Hmm.
life signs weren't actually there. It seems like they were kind of like false.
It's a lie.
And as soon as that happens, 3 Klingon ships decloak.
Of course they bloody do. All right. Well,
so
hello,
you-
boys.
So you are now surrounded by
Alright.
one Klingon cruiser and 2 birds of prey.
All right. Can I hail them?
Yeah, sure. Shoot a
Yeah.
hail. Who do you
I
want
want
to
to
hail?
hail them and be like, "Hey, do you know what happened here? Because I've got no idea, and I certainly wasn't going to blame you at all."
All right.
What did I say?
All right. So the captain of the cruiser, the largest ship of the 3,
Yeah.
comes onto the screen. He is Captain Balmok.
Oh, good.
He is, by his bio, a grizzled veteran of the Klingon Empire. Captain Balmok has consistently refused additional promotions in order to continue keeping his hands as dirty as possible.
Oh my.
So he pops up on the screen. You just said like, "Hey, do you guys know what happened here?" Because I wouldn't want to blame you. And his response, he just comes on laughing and says, "You fell right into our trap." And then he
Oh.
fires a shot at you of disruptors.
Well, that's not very nice, I'll say.
He is
Right.
he's going to be firing He's doing flashy because he just made a big like boast. So he's
Right.
going to try and be sort of he's trying to be sort of cool about it. So he's going to be rolling his flashy dice.
Right.
So what do you do when you see his disruptors powering up?
I make sure our shields are up and I say red alert because I always wanted to say that.
All
Our
right.
shields up, red alert.
All right. So you're going to essentially be trying to raise shields faster than he can fire on you.
Yeah.
So you're going to be rolling your quickly dice.
I should have put more numbers in quickly. But Eel's just not very quick.
I mean, we'll see how you roll. All right. So 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's a bagel there.
All right. So Eel
Not
rolls
for
a
you.
0. Balmok rolls a 3. So
and I'm like, hey, do you know Bach? Because we're friends.
they don't all know each other, Tara.
But why not? They might.
It's not that small an empire.
Oh, I thought it was.
So sure enough, you try to get your shields up. You are not able to get them up on time. He fires a set of disruptors that hit your ship. Do you want to name your ship? Do you care?
What would Eel name it? Boaty McBoatface.
Bodie McFootface.
Mm-hmm.
The NCC Bodie McFootface.
McBoatface. Boaty McBoatface.
All right. So you're not able to get
That's right.
the shields up in time, so the disruptor is able to hit you. You do get them up after it hits you, because like you shake and then you finish getting up on the red alert.
Oh,
However, he
alright.
does hit you for 3 hit points. So we're going to mark off the little 3 out of your stress. You do the little like everybody on camera
Everybody
shakes, and then the camera shakes as well to make it all look bad. And yeah, so the birds of prey are also getting ready to fire on you before they have a chance. Do you want to try and do something?
Well, I feel like I wouldn't be able to warp away quickly enough. And there's some life signs there. But there's not life there. That was a trick, yeah? If I'm understanding right.
That seems to be what Balmok was implying, yes.
It's a trick. So they did that thing. Well, yeah, I think I will try to leave is my plan.
All right. Well, unfortunately, because you are surrounded by them, you're going to have to turn to face one of them first.
But I feel like space goes all directions.
Yeah, but not in Star Trek.
Yeah, but that's weird.
For some reason, all space except for a periodic. Yeah, it's weird.
Right?
I don't get why they do that. But
go up or down. I don't know.
But we are still following the same rules. So you're going to turn.
I mean, there's not enough.
And you're going to face off with. Yeah, we're gonna have Captain Tubga take a shot at you.
All right. Can I hail him or her?
You can try. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna send a hail and be like, "Hey, I make a mean roke egg blood pie. We could just eat together and talk about war stories and not do this whole thing. What say you to that?"
He doesn't actually reply via hail, though he does make a quip to his first officer about making blood pie with the blood of his enemies.
Oh, terrific. Yeah.
Hey,
but I tried.
Maybe a poor choice of dish.
Yeah, maybe that. That was the first Klingon dish I could think of.
No worries. All right. So he is going to take a shot. Yeah, he's trying to knock you out because you're about to get away. So he's going to use his forceful.
Oh no.
And so you're just trying to run.
Yeah, but I was trying to use an aspect there to gather people. You know, like, hey, let's break bread and be friends.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this wasn't really a task that you could roll for.
Well, I'm gonna try anyway.
No, I appreciate the try. So, so you're gonna roll quick again. He is gonna use. Yeah, he's gonna use one of his aspects as it doesn't take prisoners because he's not a fan. So, yeah, so you're gonna roll quick. He's gonna roll forcefully, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Sure, I know what's gonna happen. Oh, hey, I got a 2 though. Oh, you got a 6.
Yeah.
For the love of God, what am I supposed to do against that?
Nothing.
I died, eh?
So yes.
Yes, I died.
So you turned. You were getting ready to run, but before you could hit the warp button, you made one final plea to Captain Tubga, and that appears to have been your undoing because it took it took a few seconds to let his tactical officer get his shots off. They do a total of 4 damage, which knocks out your final 2 stress, and the view screen like lights up as if you just exploded, and then the lights go dark. And so that is the end of scenario 1.
Well, there was no way to win that. I
Um,
feel like I did my very best. I was even going to make a Klingon dish, and I'm not great at those.
so you step out of the thing. You're a little dejected. It sucks to get your
Yeah.
ass kicked. So like
Yeah.
you're a little bummed. The instructor does pull you aside. I did this with Ryan as well. I should have done it with the other ones. I didn't think about it until we got to Ryan. But he pulls you aside and says like, "Hey, you got caught in a trap, and that's totally valid. But you did go in. You tried to save people, and then once you realized you were outmatched, you tried to get away and almost made it. So in terms of like how you did comparatively to what the scenario can be,
Yeah.
you didn't do terribly. Like everything kind of
Alright.
gets graded on a curve when it comes to Kobayashi Maru. So you were
Yeah.
able to get in, you figured out what was going on, and then you tried to get out and you just didn't make it.
Yeah.
There are worse ways to go in this. So don't beat
Alright.
your up too hard. I mean,
Alright.
some cadets have gotten away, but you did pretty good.
It's all about how you roll, then, eh?
Yeah. So that's the first scenario. Congrats, you have now been through it once.
Did Maddox get away?
Maddox had a different one.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, Maddox. This will
Not
probably be
that
after
I
Maddox.
care. It's
Yeah.
just that I'm on the ship with him and stuff, and so
You just want to step up.
hear about it. Yeah.
You did better than Brian.
Hey, I'll take that.
All right. So we have. Let's see. How long have we been going? We've been going for a little while, but not super long.
Yeah.
We can do another regular scenario, and then we have the
Alright.
experimental scenario. Does that work for you?
All right. Yeah. I want to change my approaches.
We can do that. If you.
Quick
If-
being a 0 is really hard.
All right, that's fair. So let's see.
Maybe
So what?
exchange quick and sneaky, or quick and forceful. I don't know which one.
Yeah, we can do that. So Eel, taking the lesson to heart, went home and studied for a while,
Yeah.
and realized that maybe being a little faster at the draw is better. So he go ahead and we're gonna move one point into quick
Yeah.
out of forceful.
All
So
right.
you're less wants to get in a fight and more wants to be able to navigate through a fight.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, let's see. So what's the second one I want to do? What's one I haven't done? Yeah, so it's been a couple weeks. Eel spent some studying, decided that like maybe it's a little better to just be a little quicker on the controls and not try to like bully his way through. Maybe he's a little better using his clever quickly than forcefully.
Yeah.
And now he's back on. He's done several simulations since then, so he's kind of like let down his guard. He doesn't think every simulation he's going to do is impossible.
Right.
So he's back to sort of where he was beforehand. And
Okay.
he comes in, walks in, sits down in the captain's chair,
Still a good chair.
still enjoys it. Maybe someday we should maybe get Eel up the command chain a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Maybe just install the captain's chair in the transporter room. One day we go to meet some dignitaries and there's just Eel sitting in a captain's chair right behind the transporter.
It's
like
like, hey, I replicated it from myself. Standing all day is really boring.
I don't know why they wouldn't. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
So you sit down in the captain's chair, lights go dim, comes back up. Your ship, the NCC Bodhi McMoatface, that has now been just attached to you as a character, has picked up a distress signal from a freighter traveling through the neutral zone. He claims to be under attack by a Federation starship, the Kobayashi Maru.
Oh,
The freighter, registered as the Guff, claims to receive no warning prior to the attack, and with their shields failing, will likely be destroyed soon. What do you do?
wait. Someone steal a Federation ship? Or is the Guff made of... Can I hail the Maru?
You can send a subspace signal to the Maru,
All right.
because it's too far to be like you have to be pretty close to hail something
Oh.
directly.
Oh,
But you
right.
you could technically send them they are a Federation ship, and you have the registry.
Oh, all right.
I will just give it to you. You can look it up, and yes, it is an actual ship in the Federation. Like it's not a mystery to you. So it is a Federation
Yeah.
starship. You can send a subspace signal to them and
Yeah.
wait to hear a response if you want.
Yeah. I think I would like to just to make sure that they respond in a Starfleet way, so that I know it hasn't been stolen.
All right. So what are you saying in your message?
In my message, I would say, I don't know, like the equivalent of a Starfleet secret handshake, like I put in codes and stuff. I don't know what those are off
You
the
just
top of my
you
head.
sound just like this, just in like the Starfleet Academy fight song or something. You,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do the
something
first
like that.
line like shaving a haircut and see if they
Right.
finish it.
Yeah, yeah. And if they don't respond with 2 bits, then we know that there's a lot of trouble.
All right. So you send it. You wait a few moments and you get no response back.
No response. Don't like that. All right. Do the same thing to the little ship, the Guff ship they're chasing.
All right. So yeah, so you fire off a subspace signal to the Guff. They're the ones that sent the distress signal. You wait a little time. You do get a response back.
Is it 2 bits?
It is not 2 bits. Well, the Guff
Oh.
is just a regular. It's just a freighter. It's not
Oh,
a
all right.
Federation ship.
All right.
So they get it. They're a little confused by the shaving a haircut thing, but they're happy somebody responded to their distress signal.
All
So it's basically you just get back like this short clip. There's a man, sort of middle aged, like standing on the bridge of what looks like to be a very small ship. It's not like a shuttlecraft, but the command center is basically like you can see it open up into what looks like living quarters behind him.
Oh, all right.
So it's like you can see that there are people around or whatever. He's hanging onto the top of the thing because the ship is shaking and shimmying. And he just is reiterating basically what his distress signal. He's just yelling for help. He's saying like, "Oh my God, they're gonna kill us! I don't know what's happening. They just came out and like we tried to talk to them and they just opened fire. Help us!" In the back, you can see like again the living quarters for some crew. It looks like there's probably about a dozen or so people worth of living quarters back there, and then a little further back you can see a bunch of stacked crates and whatnot.
All right. This is
one of the
very
crates
cool.
says food, the other one says medicine for
Oh.
whatever reason. So,
Oh. Did they steal things? I don't know. All right. Let's see.
Oh, and as he's saying that, like you see one giant shake, and then the screen cuts out.
Oh, okay.
But you are still getting the distress signal, so it doesn't look like the ship actually destroyed. It looks like just their communications got cut out.
All right. So at this point, it's like a big chase scene. They're just like it's just there's a distress signal and the Kobayashi Maru is just chasing them.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the freighter was just kind of going, and then the Maru flew up. From your recollection, or from your understanding at least, like a freighter wouldn't be afraid of a Federation starship because they don't tend to just start firing on someone for no reason.
Right.
And then they started firing on them for no reason or no apparent reason.
All right.
And so now they're just getting the crap kicked out of them by some Federation starship. And
all
they
right.
don't know.
Well,
They claim to not know why. They just are calling for help.
Oh, all right. I'd like to get close enough to like interfere, maybe.
Okay. So you want to turn and head that way?
Yeah.
Right. So you do. You turn, head that way. A few seconds of work passes, and sure enough, you stop, and you see exactly what you were sort of expecting to see. You see like a nice Federation starship. I don't know what the Maru would technically be in this case, what class or whatever, but it's a pretty nice Federation starship.
Yeah.
And then like a very small, dinky freighter ship, kind of just getting its ass kicked. At this point, because you kind of did some two-way communication. It took some while. The thing has been getting beat up for a while now. It doesn't look like it has any shields. Actually, right as you warp in, right as you appear, the Maru takes one shot with phasers and like it hits one of the nacelles, and suddenly plasma gas is now like venting out the back, and the thing is kind of spinning and listing in space.
No.
So it doesn't look like it has much time left, but you get there just as it's getting close.
Can we beam off the people in the little freighter? Can we save them? Because that seems like I don't want to get there and watch them explode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're gonna have to move in a little closer.
All right. Sneaky like.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna like distances and stuff don't matter in this as much as they do in Star Trek. So like if you want to try and beam them, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
First, you got to scan, and I'm going to say you go ahead and scan. I'm not going to make you roll for it. You know that there's like 14 people on board. Unfortunately, that means you can't just get them all in one go. It's going to take a couple beams.
All right.
So some time will pass. So yeah, if you want to try and beam them, let's do a roll of
worth a shot.
Quick, because you're trying to be fast about it. Makes sense?
Quick. Yeah. Oh, that's a 2.
Yep. I was going to say difficulty 2, so.
Oh, good.
So you successfully get one beam of group of people on board.
All right.
As you get that one group of people, 2 birds of prey decloak beside you.
For the love of God, I should realize this is going to happen every time. Yeah, well, I'm going to ignore them and get the rest of the people off.
So go ahead and do another quick roll, difficulty 2.
Quick. Oh, negative.
-1.
You know, the negative thing is bothersome. At least a 0 is something, you just know you didn't do great, but a negative.
So the reason it's negative, if you remember the tutorial video I sent you, the fate dice don't have numbers on them.
Oh,
they
right.
have,
Yeah.
It's a minus, a 0, and a plus. And so basically you're rolling 4 dice, and it's just, it means you rolled like
minuses.
So -1s, you do not succeed. You try to get it, and just as you were about to hit the transport button, you get hit.
Wait, can I use instinct to gather? Because I'm trying to get all these people together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to make you re-roll. You're not going to be able to.
That's all right.
Oh, okay, yep.
Worth it.
And you did start again with 3, so this will just be 1.
All right.
So you can re-roll.
And a 0. Damn it.
So I will note, you can use more than one aspect if you want. You can't use the same one multiple times in a single roll.
Oh.
But you can use this, like, you can do Instinct to Gather later in the scene if you want.
Oh, all right.
But you can also use Surprisingly Competent or Moves at his own pace right now if you want to get the +2 to get more people.
Maybe let's use Surprisingly Competent at beaming everyone off, because I am, what's the electroplasma systems specialist?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this harrowing transporting situation is what drives Eel to get really good at transport.
Right? Yeah, maybe this is it. This is the moment.
All right, so you beam. You were able to get everybody off.
Yeah.
At this point, you have the full complement of people. However, getting that beaming done, Captain Tamor of one of the birds of prey is able to take one shot at you.
And I deflect it onto the freighter because I got people on.
Captain Tamor, he's a brash, newly appointed captain, eager to endear himself to Captain Balmock.
Oh.
So he is trying to look cool. So he he's flying in. He tries to do this like cool pass, like he wants to look good for the camera. So he does this like spin maneuver, like he does like a barrel roll as he's firing.
Yeah.
Just to be cool.
He's very flashy.
Yep. So he's gonna be flashy. So yeah, Eel's gonna have to also roll flashy because you were trying to do this like last minute daring transport to get everybody off. So
I see.
It would normally be quick if you were trying to like evade, but since you were trying to be quick in the transport, instead you're trying to be flashy to rescue everybody at the moment. So
I see.
So yeah, so he's rolling flashy, you're rolling flashy, and we will see what happens. 3, 2, 1.
Ugh, I got a 1. You got a 6. I don't understand.
So you'll take some damage. It looks like you took because you were trying to transport people. You didn't have your shields up. So
good for me.
So Tamor does this like fancy little barrel roll, looking cool, and hits you for 5 total damage.
Ouch.
And you have 1 stress remaining, but you do have everybody on board. Right as you finish getting that last transport, the Maru takes a final shot at torpedoes and just blows the guff out of the sky. Like it just blows up into a million pieces, and it cuts to the transporter room right as the people are beaming in.
Yeah.
So exactly
but like the show. Make it. Yeah.
They do make it. Yep. So you have everybody that was on the guff on board. You've taken 1 big hit. Currently, the other bird of prey is getting ready to fire on you, and as soon as the guff is destroyed, the Maru starts to turn in your direction as well.
What are they about? It's been stolen. That's why. I'm sure of it. So I'm gonna hail them and be like, "Hey, nice ship that's totally not yours." And then I'm gonna try to get away.
All right. Well, first you hail them and tell them, "Nice ship. That's totally not yours."
Yeah.
And again, you get met with Captain Balmock. He comes on laughing again. This time, not because he feels like he tricked you, but because he genuinely thought that was a fun line, and he was like, "You are smart," and he genuinely thought it was like it was a good ribbing by you. And then he just tells you like, "You will die with honor today."
Oh, I'd rather not. Thanks so much.
And the Tubka is going to take its shot at you because it is very close at this point. It was right next to you when it uncloaked. So it is also going to roll.
What if I do a really clever maneuver and beam away? Walk away very fast. Very clever.
Very clever.
A very clever move to leave.
If you can come up with a reason that you're being clever, because again, like you're being a clever move to move quickly, you're still moving quickly. So you can come up with like the eel maneuver.
The cleverness of it would be that I'm gonna I'm gonna eject something to distract them with that will blow up like with fireworks or something. And while they're looking at that, because what they'll think like somebody's dying honorably, then I'll be leaving at the same time. It's very clever.
All right, sure, why not? So you rig a shuttle to self-destruct, and you send it out as a distraction.
With fireworks in it, though. That's important.
Yes. With all the fireworks, you can replicate in a few seconds before this other bird of prey takes a shot at you.
Yes.
Yeah, it floats off. It goes off, and we will see. You can roll with clever if you want.
All right.
And 3, 2, 1, roll. And you do not.
I got a 2.
You rolled decently.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
But 2 rolled better. So, the last bird of prey flies in. You release the shuttle.
No, even if I used surprisingly competent with that, I would get 4. Right?
The best you could do is re-roll. There's a possibility that you can roll a 6,
really?
or a 5. Yeah, because
I haven't gotten anything that high.
Because your clever is 2, and the maximum you can get from any roll is +4, because you're rolling 4 dice. So if you roll 4 pluses, you get 4, and then you get the +2 for clever. So the max you could ever roll is a 6.
Oh, interesting.
But a 5 or a 6 would succeed. So if you want to use your final fate point on surprisingly competent, you can do that and try re-rolling just to see if you can get lucky.
Because if I could win once, that'd be neat.
If you get a 5 and a 1.
And I did 1 point worse.
the odds were against you, but you made a valiant effort. So sure enough, you send out the shuttle full of fireworks. He fires a full spread of torpedoes, and one of them does actually get distracted. Like the targeting systems gets distracted, and like one of the torpedoes breaks off to the side and hits the shuttle. But he fired a full volley, and the other ones don't get distracted. Hit the Bodie McMoat face, and it goes up in a giant flash, and the system goes down.
I was so close.
You were very close. Like if he had not rolled so well, if he had just rolled like a 3 or a 4, it would have been like within the realm of possibility if you had just gotten a good roll. If you had won that, like even just tied that roll, you would have gotten away and saved everyone, which is like unheard of.
It was so close.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's not bad though.
The commander comes out and says like, "Hey, this was a near impossible situation, and you almost pulled it off. Keep up those transporter skills, because clearly you have a knack for it."
Yeah. Thanks.
So
thank you,
cool.
sir. I will do that.
And so there we go. That's number 2.
All right.
And so now you have done 2. How you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like I'm going to be the best transporter chief anyone ever saw.
That'll totally happen.
That will totally happen.
All right, so we got one more.
I'd be mad though if this was like a real thing that like I had to look at and feel like I'm talking to those individuals and like seeing things explode. Like I don't know how they go through it, because that's very hard.
Yeah. You got the less. So the other ones I've been super like harsh on. I don't remember who was the one who did it, but there's another version. So I came up with a base scenario, and then each base scenario branches off depending on kind of what happens and how I want to take it.
Yeah.
There's a version of the one you just did with the Kobayashi Maru. The one you got was, yes, the Klingons have stolen a Federation ship, are trying to destroy other ships to get the bad reputation of the Federation, as well as take out some ships. The other version of that is that the Kobayashi Maru is helmed by a rogue captain who is trying to hunt down Orion Syndicate, and that the Guff is actually the captain of the Guff, like the crew of the Guff, are actually Orion Syndicate supporters, and are smuggling a biological weapon. But they're using stowaways and family as their shields because they're terrible people. So like, I can't remember who it was, but whoever it was like, yeah, you have the Guff on screen, and there are like women and children in the background crying as things are exploding, but they are like refusing to give you any information because they are evil people.
No.
So you didn't get the one that's super gut wrenching.
Then that's worse.
I also like improv stuff at the end. So like, if you had turned around and left and ignored it because you're like, oh, it's a stolen ship, then I would have like played that. I would have been like, oh, well, so the Klingons stole that ship and that you were right. But they also got to run rampant and the Federation lost a bunch of planet support and became a
Oof.
giant problem. So
Yeah.
in this case, because of what you did, you almost got away, but you also sent word back to the Federation. So now they are aware of the situation. So,
Aha.
so third time, let's dive in. We're up
All
to the
right.
final scenario.
The USS Bodie McBoatface makes me really happy.
I do like it. It's pretty fun.
You know that story, right?
No.
Oh, you don't know what it's from. In Great Britain, they had a contest
Yes. Yep.
to name, what was it, the Queen's Yacht or something. And
Yeah.
everyone voted
Voted
for
for
Bodie
Bodie.
McBoatface.
Because whoever decided to run that competition didn't understand how the internet worked. Oh.
It's so funny. People are great.
Alrighty. So it's been a couple weeks, and sure enough, Eel walks back onto the deck of his little ship and takes a seat.
Yeah.
And lights go down, gets a little dim, it pops up.
All right.
So
Hello.
it is stardate 16314.6. You are currently traveling at warp 3 past the Clayton Nebula en route to Embry 5. Your ship, the Kobayashi Maru, has picked up an unidentified distress signal from your previous location. The message provides no information on the distress, but does contain your personal access code.
Oh. Well.
What do you do?
You sure it's the Clayton thing and not the Shonash ravine? Sorry.
You're the one that got that the quickest, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good for me. I thought it immediately. All right. Okay. What do I need to do first? I'm just cruising along, yeah?
Yeah, you're just cruising along. You get a weird distress signal
Yeah.
from behind you.
Yeah. From behind me.
Yep.
All right.
From your previous location.
Can I answer it without slowing down? Was I going somewhere?
Mm-hmm. You can send a reply if you want.
Yeah. All right. Hey. What?
All right. All right. So it did have your access code, so it seemed like it was either coming from or addressed to you or something. So you send that reply back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get nothing back when you send it out. A little bit like some time has passed because you're reading this message. You don't really see anything. It's this garbled distress signal message, but the only thing you make out is your code. So you're like, oh, well, let me try replying back to it. So you go ahead and put together a message, send it back. Right after you send it back, you have this sharp pain in your left leg.
Oh no.
It's like just a really like sharp pain. It comes and then it goes, and you're left with kind of a tingling feeling in your leg at this point. You send the message out.
Yeah.
You don't get anything back at first.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I have to go to sick bay. What is going on in my leg?
All right. So you leave the bridge, head down to sick bay. I'm assuming you leave your first officer in charge.
Yeah.
Do we want to name whoever that is?
That's Doe, probably.
Okay. You're gonna put Doe in charge, who doesn't exist yet in your world, but
Oh, is that true? I suppose that's so.
make up someone new.
No, maybe we went to the academy together.
Okay, yeah, no, let's do it.
What about Winnie? Maybe Winnie went to the academy with me.
No,
we
because
don't-
then we have to make Winnie have washed out to become a bartender.
Oh,
I like the idea that you and Doe went to the academy together.
that we went to. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
So,
All right.
yeah. So you leave Doe in charge. In this case, it's not really Doe. It's like a stand-in for Doe,
Sure,
because
yeah.
you can with people. But you decide to like call him Doe because you guys met once in one of your classes.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Her. I think it's a her now.
So you go down to the thing. On your way down, you get a response from Doe saying that you received basically the exact same version of the distress signal again. Like it's another garbled message that comes back with your personal access code. So you just got another one that came in. You get down to the sick bay.
Yeah.
So what do you do in sick bay?
I asked the doctor to do a quick scan of my leg.
Alrighty. So go ahead and give me a roll. Are you scanning for anything particular, or are you just doing a general scan?
Yeah. Well, my inclination is that I'm sending myself a message about something painful or killing me or something. So I'm trying to make sure that there's not a message in my leg, like a message in a bottle, you know?
Okay. So you're gonna do a normal scan of like full medical, make
Yeah.
sure there's nothing physically wrong with you type thing.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and give me a let's do careful because it's a normal
Yeah.
scan.
That sounds.
Yeah, careful scan. Difficulty 1,
Oh, for the
And-
love of God.
-1. So
But I didn't do the scan. The doctor did the scan. That's the
Yeah.
problem there.
Maybe you should. No.
Don't let me do it.
So in this case, we did refresh your points because this is a new scenario. So you have 3 fate
Oh,
points
all
that you
right.
can use if you want.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do the scan though. I couldn't say that I'm surprisingly competent because
No,
I'm
no, you
not.
totally can. In this scenario, yeah, everything's going to be rolled
Oh,
through you anyway, so
all right.
it's
Well
all
then,
proxy.
yeah, I'll be surprisingly competent on the
All right.
doctor's behalf.
All right. So the doctor tried to scan and like couldn't type in their PIN number properly to unlock the
Oh,
tricorder for some reason. So you just
oh,
go, oh, give me this, and you give
oh,
it.
I'll
Go ahead
do
and
it.
scan
Yeah.
yourself. Only
All right.
difficulty 1, so you get the +2.
Oh, all right.
So you succeed, and you find out that there is nothing medically wrong with you. You don't see any like gashes. You don't see any damage to the tissue or anything like that. Like you look perfectly normal. You do get a sense of, or you do get a read from your brain scan that you have higher than normal like just signals in your brain,
Yeah.
which are conducive to you feeling pain. So it's not like you're just
Ugh.
imagining the pain. Your brain and your body is feeling that pain, but
Hmm.
there doesn't appear to be anything physically wrong with you in that thing.
Interesting. All right.
In that time of doing the scan, the pain is now kind of dull and kind of aches in your leg, but the
Yeah.
tingling sensation now has spread to like the entire left leg and like up into your midsection, a little bit in the right leg now.
Oh no.
You need to be spreading.
All right. It's just a tingling. It's not that it's taking out mobility or anything.
Nope, just tingling. at the
All
moment.
right. Well, I think I'd go back up to the bridge and see if anyone else is feeling symptoms like that because that message might be triggering something or
Right.
something.
You go up to the bridge, you ask around, you randomly stop people in the hallway and just be like, "Are you hurting?"
Are you
Um,
all right?
Everyone's a little weirded out, but
Yeah.
everybody replies back that no, they do not have any symptoms that they are aware of.
All right.
So yeah,
Okay. Well, can we try to decipher the message?
you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to try and decipher the message. That is
Yeah.
going to be a clever task. You're trying to sort of like
Well,
piece it
good.
together.
I am very clever.
It's going to be say difficulty 1 for this.
Oh, good.
And
I
a
got
2.
a 2.
So
Hurrah.
you piece it together, and you find out that what it is your instinct was correct. That's why you were checking it this particular way. Is
Yeah.
that there was a message that you were sending. It is the message that you sent earlier in the same scene, but it's that message tied together with other messages similar to it. Like you saying, like there's a message in there talking about the pain in your leg. There's messages that talk about distance that are like get away.
Oh.
There's a couple, but the reason it came out so garbled is because it sounds like a 10-second long message with your personal command code got like smushed into like less than a second, and that there are like hundreds of these messages all layered on top of each other. So you can't make out every single message all the way, but you get some information on that front.
I see.
While you're sort of poring over that data, the tingling sensation is now almost your whole body. Now the pain in your leg is back, and it's kind of like just your whole leg is kind of hurting at the moment.
Ouch.
What do you do with that info?
I want to see if maybe there's a. Are we still moving?
Yeah, you're still moving towards.
Still moving.
Yep.
I think we should stop and maybe scan around and see if there's like some kind of anomaly or something that could be causing a temporal problem, some kind of
So-
wormhole nearby or some,
So you do an all stop.
space thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do an all stop. You're going to do a scan around. It's going to be a careful. It's going to be difficulty 1, just to do a general
Right.
scan of the space around you.
Oh, good. I got a 1.
And you succeed. And yeah, it comes back. Everything appears normal around you. There seems to be
Great.
nothing out of it. The distress signal that you're getting is further away than your scanners can reach.
Oh,
So you are like, you've been traveling at warp 3 this whole time. And so now you're
Yeah.
pretty far away from where you first got the distress signal, the first message.
right.
But you do a scan and nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. As you finish that scan and it's reading it back to you,
Yeah.
the tingling starts to get stronger all over your body, and just a flash of heavy pain, right? Like, like when you really, like when you have a really sharp pain somewhere, like your eyes kind of go white for a second, and like you just grit your
Yeah.
teeth and get by.
Right.
You do that, and like your eyes go white for a second, and it is stardate 16314.6. You are currently traveling at warp 3 past the Clayton Nebula en route to Embry 5. Your ship, the Kobayashi Maru, has picked up an unidentified distress signal
Oh
from your
no!
previous location.
I knew it. I knew it was some kind of temporal causality loop. I knew it.
The message has no information, but does contain your personal access code. What do you do?
Oh gosh. Well, can I send a message that says you're stuck in a loop?
Sure, if you want.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll start there. Say
Mhm.
we're stuck in a loop.
Are you stopping or are you continuing on at this
Yeah,
point?
no, I'll stop
Okay.
and say we're stuck in a loop. And then I don't remember how they fixed it on the show. Something about all threes and Kelsey Grammer?
Well, there are multiple episodes of TNG or of Star Trek with time loops in them. So
Right, yeah, that's all right. So I must have flown through something, so I should turn around and go the other way.
okay. Do you want to send a message or do you want to turn around and head
Yeah.
towards the signal?
Both.
Okay.
Let's send a message and say we've been stuck in a loop.
All right. Where are you sending the message towards the distress signal or are you sending it like
Yeah.
okay. So you send a distress signal toward the loop and then tell the helm to take you to the location of the distress signal, wherever it happens to be coming from.
Yeah.
As the ship turns around and starts heading that way, you get a sort of sharp pain in your left leg. It kind of hits real fast and then fades, and you're just left with sort of a tingling sensation over your leg.
Oh no.
So you're on your
then-
way. Do you want to do anything while you're on your way to the location?
I mean, I might want to check my chair and make sure there's not any, tacks or something I keep setting on.
Do you check your chair? There's no tacks or anything.
No tacks or anything. All right.
What's the thing on Discovery? The little the metal burr on the
yeah.
underneath side of the
Yeah,
thing.
right. I'm checking for
On the
one
chair?
of them.
Yeah.
Like
So
I'm sat on a metal burr.
so yeah, none of that stuff. So you
Right.
go. You end up you arrive at the location.
Yeah.
Currently, you don't really see anything. You're not super close to where it exactly is. You just got yourself within viewer distance.
Yeah.
Bring up on screen from where you are. It doesn't really look like there's anything around.
Yeah.
It just looks like sort of empty space.
I want to fire a spread of torpedoes.
All right. So go ahead and give me. That's gonna be flashy. That's quite a
Okay.
flashy maneuver.
It is flashy.
It's gonna be a difficulty 1.
No. But
Alright.
I want to use surprisingly competent because I want this to happen.
Okay. Good enough. Surprisingly confident's a pretty broad-based one, so we'll go ahead and
Yeah,
give that to
yeah. Sorry, I probably should have been a little more specific with it.
you. No, it works fine.
All right.
So yeah, so you succeed. You fire
Okay.
torpedoes. They go out into space and everything.
Yeah.
You spend like a full spread, so there's like 4 or 5 that kind of shoot out and go in sort of separate directions.
Right.
You kind of watch them just keep going into space. They all kind of keep going. One, however, a little further out, keeps going and then just suddenly sort of disappears.
Disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where'd it go?
In that time, while you were doing this, the tingling sensation is sort of like spread down your leg into your midsection area, a little bit into your other leg, and like the pain is back, but sort of a dull ache at the moment.
I want to follow the torpedo that disappeared.
All right. So yeah, you follow it. You move a little closer.
Yeah.
Do you want to investigate what happened or anything like that?
Nope. I want to keep going till we disappear because we're gonna get out of the problem.
All right. So yeah, so you keep going. You keep going. You keep following. You're following that same line.
Yeah.
You notice like as you're getting closer to where it looks like the thing disappeared,
Yeah.
like you're moving at like a quarter impulse or something, right?
Right.
But you notice that like your ship is starting to speed up a little bit. You aren't
Yeah.
increasing engine power, but you're actually speeding up a little bit as if you're kind of getting pulled.
Okay.
As you continue on, you start to see the edges of what looks kind of like a bubble. It's not like a
Aye.
bubble that you can see the entire bubble. You just see like this little like curve around in a sort of circle sphere shape as you get closer.
Okay.
And it, you get pretty close to, it's not huge. It's not like the size of your ship, but it's still decent sized. And then sure enough, you run right into it. And right when you touch it, the pain in your leg gets very strong. It sort of spreads throughout. Doesn't immediately overtake you, but it definitely like now hurts a lot.
Okay.
For an instant on the view screen, you see this sort of like, it has a very sort of bigger on the inside effect of like
Yeah.
right when you hit the bubble, like you have this massive space that you can't quite see. And
Oh.
you see what appears to be thousands of versions of your ship, the Kobayashi Maru.
Oh no, is
the east-
homeless Riker there? I'm not crazy.
A homeless eel is not there.
Homeless eel, yeah.
Um,
Oh God,
so
could you imagine homeless eels? That'd be the worst.
it would be.
Oh, no. Be like, pull over, give me your ship. Also, do you have any bloody pot roast?
That's what he would do. He would pop up and complain about needing pot roast.
Food, yeah.
In my world, there is no pot roast.
I haven't had pot roast in 35 years.
So the easiest way to explain like how it looks is as if someone had Photoshop open and had thousands of images of different angles of your ship all layered on top of each other with like some opacity.
No.
And they're all kind of moving towards a singular point, and you are also seem to be moving in that direction, and then the pain just ends up too much. And it is stardate 16314.6.
Damn it all.
You are traveling at warp 3 past the Clayton Nebula en route to Embry 5. Yeah, you get a distress signal. The message has your code. What do you do?
Oh no, I did this already twice. I don't know. Should I self-destruct? Okay. So
I will let you do
else-
whatever you want to do, by the way. Like
No.
don't worry about like whatever you feel like Eel would want to do in this situation, like go for it.
Nobody else is nobody. Does anyone else on the crew remember that this is happening this way?
So Eel turns to his doe substitute next to him and explains sort of what he's been going through a little bit.
Yeah.
And he has no idea what you're talking about. While you're describing what was going on, you get a sharp pain in your left leg, kind of like hits real hard and then tingly afterwards.
I'm gonna cut my leg off this time. I'm gonna go to sickbay and say, amputate this leg now before the rest of me hurts.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm an eel, so really, I just need the one.
No. Okay. All right. So you go down to
Didn't
sickbay.
see that one coming, did you?
Did not. It is true. So yeah. So you go down. Let's do a. Are you? Yeah. The guess is like, how are you just trying to get this leg off as fast as possible? Or are you just like get this thing off of me, type of thing? Or are you?
I mean, I want them to be careful about it.
It's a standard medical procedure, so we're gonna do a careful roll. I guess quick and careful is the same for you.
Yeah.
Give me difficulty 1.
Right.
Go ahead and give me a careful roll.
Oh no.
-2.
And -2 is bad. I don't want that.
All right.
They said no. Or they just cut me in half.
All right. So
Wait, do eels grow back if you cut them in half?
I have no idea.
Like worms, you know?
Yeah, I don't know enough about eels to know that. We
I'm
should
gonna
know because that could be a
research.
useful tool. Yeah, that could be a useful tool for eel.
Useful thing, yeah. I'm gonna look that up later.
So you get down there. You tell the doctor like amputate my leg. The doctor looks at you and goes like, no.
What? No.
They do a quick scan just to see if there actually is something wrong. There doesn't appear to be anything medically wrong. There's no like tissue damage or anything. So like physically, it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with you.
Yeah.
So the doctor, who is the only person who can essentially pull rank on the captain, is like, I'm not going to do this random procedure for no reason.
Fine. All right. Well, then I leave and I go back to the bridge, slightly annoyed and full of.
You can try to re-roll that, mind you, if you use an aspect.
It's all right. I was
Okay.
probably being rash. I go back to the bridge full of Tylenol, and that's not helping in any way. So why does it keep hurting my leg, and then the rest of me hurts?
In that time, the tingling is kind of spread as well.
Yeah. Can I do some kind of other? If it's not a medical thing, can I do some kind of other scan that would like?
If you want to, yeah. You just have to tell me
Yeah.
what you're scanning for.
I'm scanning for some kind of temporal, signature or
Okay.
or like an alien or something,
An alien or a temporal something? Those seem
mean-
like two different things.
Yeah, those are different.
Yeah.
A temporal alien. Yeah. All right. Well, search for a temporal thing, I suppose.
All right. So since you're looking for something specific and you're using sort of the knowledge that you've gained through these loops,
Yeah.
you're going to use clever because you're being clever
terrific.
about it. You're trying to hide. You're trying to get that one thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a difficulty 2, but you go ahead and scan your leg, looking for something temporal based.
Oh, I got
A 3.
That's good.
So
Might
you
be the
succeed.
best thing I rolled all day.
So yeah, you scan your leg, specifically looking for temporal signatures. Eel has spent a lot of time with porters, knows about quantum states, and working with
Yeah.
the Heisenberg compensators and whatnot. So
Yeah.
he understands temporal stuff a little bit. So he does a scan. It gives you this little visualization, right? It shows sort of your leg. It shows the quantum signatures throughout your leg, and there's one particular spot in your leg where the signature seems to be garbled, like the sort of quantum
Oh.
temporal signature seems to be garbled,
Oh.
garbled, and it seems to be sort of like the weirdness seems to be sort of stretching out of your leg, like a sort of
Yeah.
a string that's kind of like pulling on your leg right there,
Oh.
with that string sort of towards the direction of the distress signal. Like you can't tell exactly, but if you you're standing on the bridge looking at the view screen and you're facing the thing, it looks like it's going straight out towards it, type of thing.
Oh.
So, and that's
Can
what you get.
I use whatever we used to ungarble the message on myself?
No.
Okay.
The ungarbled message
And
was just you looking at the message and decrypting and stuff. This
oh,
like
all
the
right.
scan you did sort of tells you everything you can get from it.
Okay. All right. So we turn around and we go to where the distress signal is coming from.
Okay.
And maybe in order to close the loop, we have to send out a distress signal.
Okay. Getting there, the tingling is now sort of like got up to your neck and most of your body. You have the pretty sore at this point. So you
Well,
arrive. Yeah, you arrive at the thing. Do you want to try and send a message to it?
yeah. So we send out the distress signal that we've been getting.
Okay. You send
I
it.
think it started with us there. And I'm trying to close the loop somehow. And yeah, maybe we send out a message into that circle thing with all the thousands of.
Okay. I mean, that's what I assumed that you were saying was you were going to send a message out to it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So yeah, so you send the message. You don't really get anything back. The Maru, not as a necessarily response to the message. You feel the Maru get like pulled a little bit, as if like
Yeah.
you weren't on engines, but suddenly the ship sort of jerks forward and starts moving towards. You send the message at the bubble thing that's there, and you don't really get anything back. A little bit of time passes. The pain is sort of getting larger, and then the same message you sent, at least from what you can tell, based on like you have an ear for the garbled thing now. Like kind of
Yeah.
you get what sounds like a bunch of other messages collapsed, but you can kind of pick out the message you just sent coming back at you.
Okay. I think we go full speed at all the 1,000 other versions of us and see what happens.
All right, yeah. So you hit full impulse or warp, whichever. Jump right into the thing. You see the same thing. All of the ships kind of converge. You get right to it, and the pain just overtakes you at that moment. And it is stardate 16314.6. You're traveling, yada yada yada.
I self-destruct the ship.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes. I can't
Okay.
figure it out. I need an hour. I've got 6 minutes. I need an hour. I can't figure it out. Don't know why it's my leg. I don't know why it's recurring. I don't know how we got in there in the first place. I'm baffled.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know
So-
what to do
All right.
other than actually self-destruct and just let the professor tell me what I was supposed to do. I gave it 3 good rounds and tried really hard.
All right. So if that's what you really want to do, we can try and do that.
Yeah.
So we are going to roll. You are going to roll to try and convince your first officer to, because you need 2 people to self-destruct, and
Oh no.
and you're out of nowhere from their perspective, going like all hands abandon ship or self-destruct.
Totally
So
rogue. Oh no.
so
All right, wait. So I'll turn around, I'll go to that spot immediately,
okay.
and then if things look really bad and everybody sees all the thousands of us on the screen that time, we'll self-destruct. Because they'll know, like, this is not right.
Okay, you try that. You fly into the thing. You see all the
Yeah.
things. They see it, but
Yeah.
before you're able to self-destruct, because once you're in the bubble, the pain comes real fast and overtakes you, and you reset. So you're back to square one.
Balls. I don't know what to do. If I get close to there and the pain gets much worse, is there something that got into my leg that belongs back there or something? I'm sure it should be something that just like occurs to me, but let's see. God, what did I do? The first time I tried to cut my leg off. No, that was the second time. No, that was the third time. I don't know which time that was. Okay, one of the times I rolled poorly to cut my leg off. Was that the thing I needed to do? Probably not, because you didn't see that one coming. What else? I can't remember what the hell I did. Let's see. I know that I'm stuck in some sort of loop.
Mhm.
I know that there's some sort of like a rift or something, because there's thousands of other copies of me
Mhm.
from different timelines, and homeless eel, and that's very funny. And I know that I keep sending myself messages each time, thinking that I'm sending it to who knows where. Maybe they're not all from me. Maybe they're from the other ships too. I don't know. I know I've got a pain in my leg, and I know the pain in my leg has like a string tied to it, to the temporal, to where the distress signal comes from. And the distress signal comes from that rift, yeah?
Mhm.
There's the distress signal from me.
Yeah, you determined that
That
it
it
looks
was
like it's coming from you, or a version of you.
one version of me.
Coming from versions, like I said, you got a bunch of different messages, and they all seem like they came from you of different
Yeah.
terminology and stuff. So
Do I need to stop turning around and going back to that place? Because it gets much worse the closer I get.
I think the first turn you kept going, and it still reset. So
And it reset anyway. So I'll be stuck either way. It's something to do with my leg, something to do with the rift. I can't heal the rift. I need to cut my leg off and plug the rift with it. That's it.
all right, you want to try that? We can do that.
Well, or I can just try to like remove the painful part, like the initial, like something's wrong in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
I mean, that's the same thing. If we're going to operate to remove your leg, then like that's the same principle.
Yeah.
You're trying to remove the portion of the thing where the filament is.
Right.
Is that what you want to try and do?
Yeah, let's try that again.
Okay. So you call the doctor up again.
Yeah.
And so this time you're not just trying to amputate your entire leg.
Yeah.
Which you took the doctor for a loop when you tried to do that. So instead you're like, we'll just say that you did the quantum scan again, because you know exactly, you've done that before, you know how to do that particular scan to see that filament coming out. So you sort of like do the scan again to show the doctor and be like, this is the thing in my leg, I need you to remove the portion of my leg for that thing.
Yeah.
So you're going to go ahead and roll. It's still going to be clever because it's still a regular thing, but it's going to be an easier task because it's not trying to amputate your leg. You're not trying to convince the doctor to amputate your leg for no reason.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so go ahead. It's going to be a difficulty 1. You got a
Hooray,
2.
a 2.
All right. So the doctor sees what you're talking about and is like, okay. So they go in and amputate. You have a big chunk of your leg sort of pulled out. What do you do with this chunk of your leg?
I put it in a jar.
Okay.
First
like
and
a mason jar.
Yeah. I've got a nice jar just for my leg. It's called my leg jar, and I take my leg jar back up to I should take it to the scientists and have them see what they can make of it. Maybe they could I don't know, use it to create some kind of, I don't know, like an advantage or a help for closing the rift, or something like that.
All right, so you go through this procedure. You have a giant chunk of your leg taken out.
Yeah.
You put it in a little like stasis field jar.
Yeah.
And send it off to the engineering or something to do, because that's where they do all the study of things. They send it down there. So after your surgery, you notice that the weird tingling sensations that you were having seem to go away. You still have a giant pain in your leg, but you also have a giant hole in your leg.
Right,
so,
that's different pain.
You can't really tell the difference. It still feels like pain, but the tingling sensation seems to have subsided. You send the piece of leg down there. They're doing a little studying on it. I'm going to go ahead and let you do one roll to try to study it.
All right.
Let's say clever, because you're trying to
Yeah.
study to gather information.
Good.
All right.
A
I was
3.
gonna say difficulty 2, but it's
Oh, sorry. I should have let
no,
you
no,
stay.
that's fine. You made it. So yeah, so you rolled. You send it down. They do some scans on it. You've already sort of shown the quantum filament, so they're trying to figure it out. They are able to continue getting more info. It looks like that filament is still pulling, even though it's not in your leg anymore.
Oh.
The skin itself, like the chunk of your leg specifically, seems to be sort of temporally out of phase with the rest of the universe. But they are actually getting that it is trying to pull that piece like back towards the rift, towards the spot of the distress signal. The sort of like the temporal mishmash, the sort of like shakiness of its quantum and temporal field sort of thing, is continuing to get like weirder and weirder. And then it is stardate 16314.6, and you are back where you were.
Oh no, do I still have a piece of my leg missing?
It has been reattached to you at this point.
It's reattached. Oh, for the love of Pete. All right. So this time, I'm going to go down to the doctor, show her the thing, and have her cut a big chunk out of my leg.
All right.
And I'm going to take that chunk of my leg and I'm going to fire it out into space into the rift.
So yeah, you want to just load it in a torpedo and fire. Do you want to go to the rift, or do you want to fire it from where you are, just like in the direction of the rift?
That, because I feel like it's unstable once it's removed from me. So if I don't hurry up, I'll just restart the loop.
So I'm not going to make you roll to have it removed and stuff again. So you do all of those things. The pain was really big. You get it removed. The tingling goes away again. You load it up in torpedo. You fire it. Are you going to stay right where you are? Are you going to move the opposite direction to try and get a little more distance? Are you going to follow it? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I kind of want to follow it to see what happens, but I also probably shouldn't be there in case we get... Well, no, I'm going to follow it because wherever it came from is probably how we get out of the loop.
Okay. So you're following it a little bit of distance because you did mention that you were a little worried about what was going on.
Yeah. Yes.
So you fire it to the thing. You're kind of tracking behind it, a fair distance. You're not right up on it now. Sort of maybe at the edge of your scanning range.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it takes off. It keeps going, and then randomly gets to the thing. It pops. You're just on the edge of sensors, so you're pretty far from the rift at this point. But it goes right into the rift. It disappears the same way you think you looked when you popped into it, the same way the other torpedo did. And it is stardate 16314.6. However, everything is the same, except right when you get there, you remember everything like normal, but all the people around you look a little confused.
Oh.
They seem to all be suffering some sort of version of like deja vu. It's sort of like they're like, I feel like we've gotten this message before, but no one can quite place it. But they seem to have a vague recollection of something like this happening before, and a little bit of recollection of firing a torpedo with, they aren't sure, but like a piece of your leg. They aren't sure. That seems sort of weird, but that's sort of what they think might have happened. But they're not sure.
So we got out, I think.
So as they are relaying that information, you have a pain in your leg.
Oh no!
And
they're just starting to remember it.
They do have a sense, yes.
All right. I'm gonna put myself in the airlock. Just take a walk outside.
I will note that like how far away from the thing matters.
Right.
So.
In which direction? Do I need to be close to it?
Well, when you were close to it, they all forgot everything.
Okay. So we'll do all of those same things. I'm gonna go to the doctor, show her the thing, and she'll cut it out, and then I'll put it in a jar, and then I'll put that jar in a torpedo. This is sounding very like Yzma. I'm gonna put that jar in another jar, and when it arrives, I'll smash it with a hammer. Put that jar in a torpedo, fire the torpedo, and go the other way.
All right, so we're not going to roll for any of that. You do all of that crazy bullshit you just said. Fire off a torpedo, and the Kobayashi Maru takes off in the other way to try and get some more distance. you're timing it right. So like you're
Yeah.
scanning to follow the torpedo, but you're going to be outside of scanning range for when it reaches there. So instead, you just like have a little stopwatch that you're going
Yeah.
based on the speed of the torpedo and stuff. You know when it's going to basically reach the rift. And sure enough, you time it. It looks like it should have hit the rift right about now. A few seconds later, you are fine. Nothing happens. But in your long range sensors, a random torpedo casing just appeared right around where you guys first received the distress signal, and then starts drifting slowly and then a little bit quicker and quicker towards where the rift was.
Oh.
And everybody around you, they all remember everything. There isn't like you didn't loop at all. Instead, the torpedo popped out and started drifting towards it. And that is essentially the end.
Wow. That
So
one's hard.
so I will say that is, you beat that one. Like you yeah, there's only really like 3 ways out of it. So to give you a quick rundown of the scenario,
Yeah.
The listeners may have already heard this, and I'm sure they had fun listening to you essentially do the best out of everyone who's done it so far.
All right.
I'll do it. So the scenario is like you're flying along, and do you remember the episode? I want to say it's called Timescapes. I'm not sure. Where Picard, Troy, and Data are in the shuttlecraft, and like they randomly start hitting little pockets of time dilation.
Right.
Like the fruit gets super old instantaneously and stuff.
Right.
The idea is like the Maru is flying around, just flying through space, and comes upon one of those. They pass through it, and most of the time you would just pass right through it and not notice it because it wouldn't hit anything in particular. This one, however, hit the captain in the leg, and instead of just passing through really quickly and not really doing anything, a piece of that timey-wimey stuff gets caught on you somehow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It like entangles with your quantum signature or something. So like, so it's trying to get back to its weird time-space bubble.
Yeah.
Its little thing. So it's trying to pull your leg. So you are personally connected to it. If you had left the ship and went and checked it and they left, you would have just kept resetting, but the ship would have been fine.
Oh, interesting.
You get basically the distress signal hits you right as you're about at the edge of the effect of it. So like when you reset, it resets a certain amount of area away from the rift. And the further away you get from the rift, the less the effect is.
Okay.
So if the Maru is a little further and resets, then they would remember a little bit more. But since it's pulling you, since you caused the reset, since you're still next to them, they don't remember anything. So the goal is to sort of figure out that it's you and not the ship or the crew or anything like that.
Right.
And then figure out that the further away they are, when you get reset, they remember a little bit more each time.
Huh. Oh, that's good.
You're the first one to contemplate the idea of chopping off your leg and
Thanks.
launching your leg on a thing. It is a thing that I legitimately didn't even think of, but makes perfect sense in it. So the other ways to beat it would be like the captain goes out in a shuttlecraft and basically gets himself looping nonstop while the Maru goes and gets a science ship to try and figure out the rest of it, which I think is how Ryan gets out of it.
Interesting.
And maybe Matt. So that's the so that's it. That's the one. You did the best at it. So yeah, the instructor comes by and like gives you a little nudge and like kind of gives you a finger gun to say good job.
Pew pew. I thank you. That was delightful. And also frustrating, but delightful.
In time loops are frustrating. So
yeah. Oh my god.
So that is it for the Maru scenario. Thank you for joining us, Tara and Cadet Eel. I hope all the listeners had fun. I hope you had fun while playing.
I did. That was a blast.
and so yeah, until next time.
Awesome.
See you out there. Thank you so much for listening to another of our Kobayashi Maru scenarios. Next time, we'll have the first of 2 Patreon supporter episodes, both of which turned out really fun. Speaking of Patreon, we appreciate all our patrons, and if you want to help keep the Tempest flying, we'd love for you to consider going to patreon.com/Starship Tempest and becoming a patron yourself. In either case, we hope you enjoyed your time with us, and we'll see you out there.